both are pretty useful tools. And it is important to understand the distinction. The basic distinction between the two is this. A learning experience platform is primarily, think of it like a tool that essentially allows you to access content, right? But where does that content reside? Right? If your organization is creating custom e-learning content, let's say Santosh is creating an e-learning course, like the examples you showed us, where does that course stay? The course has to stay somewhere, right? And while it can stay on a normal server, or it makes sense to put it on a learning management system where it can be tracked and traced, how many people have accessed it. If there's an assessment, then the scores can be tracked. That is what a learning management system does. A learning experience platform can work on top of that to provide you gateway to that content and to other content, right? If you remember what Bhavin said, is that the learning experience platform can curate, the AI engine can curate content for you, or it can allow your subject matter experts to create learning journeys. How does the subject matter expert do that? Let's say there is a content that you have created at your organization. This is specific to your organization. Let's say HR rules or something like that for safety training at a sales site. You have kept it on your learning management system. But you also want to create a learning journey for all kinds of generic and specific safety related trainings, right? Part of it, you find something very nice on YouTube that you can have a generic safety related training. Then you find a really nice article on the Yale site or the McKinsey site on safety related training. And you want your employees to go through everything, all those, including the e-learning that you've created. There you can create that learning journey on a learning experience platform where somebody who logs in there sees not just your e-learning course, but also the courses that have come from different sources together in one learning journey, right? So the LMS does course administration, learning compliance and tracking, instructor-led programs and virtual instructor-led programs, onboarding, SOP training, reporting and analytics, training compliance and gaps. It does interconnectedness with core HR if required, competency, custom content, content discovery, and skill mapping. What an LXP does is unstructured learning, AI-based content curation, content recommendation, and usage analytics. Both together can actually fulfill all your training requirements. However, it is not necessary that you need to have both all the time. It depends on your organization's requirement. And that is where the requirement mapping is very, very important upfront. You need to get a couple of good people for learning and department, either internally or consultants, and make sure that do you really need both? Can you do with one and not the other? If you're a very small organization, 20, 30 people, 50 people, a startup, you might not need an LMS. You just might need an LXP, right? If you are do a lot of custom content development and you are very, very fixed in terms of creating curricula that people go through because of compliance reasons, then you might not need an LXP. You can just do with an LMS, or you choose to use the powers of both to give more options to you. So it has to, it's horses for courses. There's no one magic key, as it were.
Beautifully explained, Shantanu. Thank you very much. Anything more to add, Santosh?
Yeah, I mean, it's all depend upon the kind of requirement an organization has. As I said, every organization has its own uniqueness. So and their requirement is always unique in itself. So we'll have to understand the requirement, the kind of, I mean, we cannot just transform a company which is primarily into classroom training in just one day into a kind of, so it's a cultural transformation more than even just the transformation or digital transformation. So if you are going through, so you have to pass on that, but you have to give some time. You have to go into phases to implement those. As far as this LXP is concerned, this is something you can give this option, as Shantanu rightly said, that these are option depending upon your requirement, whether you want to extract content, give the leverage to your employees to get the content from even external sources and the internal sources within the L&D. So whether you want to give both the aspects, and how much you are controlling their learning path, that is very, very important. I've been saying right from the beginning of my that presentation, that this part of assessment and keeping track of the record and maintaining those tracks for individual is very, very important, and that need to be, that is that is what every L&D has to do now after COVID, because of the cost constraint, because of everything. That L&D is the first department which, given the budget gets cut and things like that. So you have to be more effective in terms of delivery. That is very, very important, and these are the ways through which you can do that.
Thank you, Santosh.